Steel. Steel uses his shield to defend his allies. He is a melee support tank. Steel uses his shield to defend his allies and himself, as well as being offensive in terms of control. With his shield in hand, he is ready to engage onto the battlefield with his allies, to control the map, to control the fights, to support his allies in enabling them to push through and finish off their opponents. Teamfights and skirmishes can begin and end with Steel as he slams down his shield to interrupt and offer up support for allies. Steel gets up close and personal with the punch. This ability does basic damage, can also be used in the lane as well as trying to offer up extra damage to take out opponents. Shield Block is Steel's next ability, and he uses this to defend himself and allies and reduces incoming damage. From a defensive position, Steel helps to control the fight and uses his shield to push through, assisting allies and moving them forward through the battlefield, as well as getting them out of harm's way. Steel uses his Q, his shield charge, to push through the battlefield and to disable his opponents. Charge knocks these enemies back, ready for your allies to come in for that finishing and punishing blow. Here, Steel even sets himself up with that charge and then rocking into his ultimate to finish Murdoch off in true slow motion style. Here, Steel pushes through the front line, pushing towards those enemies, interrupting their movement down the lane, as well as setting up his allies for a potential kill. He can also use charge to assist in clearing lanes, as well as moving out from fights very effectively. The energy wall that's created from Force Shield by Steel protects himself as well as giving his allies an armor buff, also slowing down your opponents to make sure that they're not able to proceed and take up the kill, as well as pushing down the lane. Here, Steel uses Force Shield to block Murdoch and deny him from any potential kill on himself, as those projectiles are blocked by that wall. Then doing so, he enables his ally to move in, potentially to push for the kill on Murdoch. Barrage from Twin Blast gets completely denied here, and going into the next clip we can see that Kalari, very low on HP as he moves through the wall, grabs himself that armor buff and is able to push forward with a tiny buff of HP to assist his ally in getting the kill. Decker doesn't have a chance in hell. Steel uses the wall also for himself, slamming it down on the ground, giving himself that important armor buff as the tower is doing a lot of damage. That small amount of armor helps him to survive in this particular fight. Steel launches into the air with Shield Slam, smashing down on his opponents with great force and furious anger as he interrupts and stuns his foes, knocking them up into the air, ready for his allies to come in and finish them off. Charge can be comboed up very well with Shield Slam as he comes in for the slam, turns around and puts his opponents back into the path of his allies, setting them up for the kill. Steel and Kalari looking for a potential kill here on Decker and able to get it thanks to Shield Slam from Steel and the successful bounce away. Shield Slam can also be used very defensively. After Force Shield is placed up, Steel is in a lot of trouble, turns around, jumps into the air and stuns and knocks up his opponents so that he is able to make the escape through the jungle. Steel comes from the back lines, initiates his ultimate Shield Slam and interrupts his enemies, then puts up his Force Shield, making sure that his allies are able to get the shield as he pushes through and knocks back Feng and puts him into a stun as he's in fast travel mode. Using that charge, he's pushed the enemies back and has allowed his allies to push forward through the wall, grabbing themselves an armor buff and getting a first kill on Muriel. As they get that first kill on Muriel, they're able to push forward, and we can see Gideon popping up his ultimate, and this whole team fight was initiated by Steel in the early days. Then they are able to clean up for sure and come in with the final blow to take out Twin Blast. This is Jebro, and welcome to Paragon.